just wanna stay up. That's right, don't gotta say goodnight if you never wake up.
I think that I'm lucky, I don't got it made. Everything I got could fit inside a suitcase. Yeah, they could try to make me quit. Yeah, stay in your lane, you ain't on my road trip. And it's kinda funny, people throwing shade. I'm just doing me, I don't got no bad days. Yeah, they could try to make me quit. Yeah, stay in your lane, yeah, we off that bullshit. We
Walking down the river, sailing on the seven seas, carrying with her a heart into pieces, drowning hope, believe her, falling under deeper, darkness up, but brighter days are gone. I wanna hear you smile again, we won't let you down. All these years you've been fighting, sure to make you proud. I wanna hear you smile again, we won't let you down. Anytime I'll be here, singing it out loud. And I think to myself, my God, she's strong. Back from hell, came alone. And I think to myself, she proved them wrong. Look where she's coming from. Oh, 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 oh. Smile again, we won't let you down. Oh, 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 oh. Smile again, we won't let you down. Wanna hear you smile again, we won't let you down. All these years you've been fighting, shouldn't make you proud. I wanna hear you smile again, we won't let you down. Anytime I'll be here, singing it out loud. And I think to myself, my God, she's strong. Back from hell, came alone. And I think to myself, she proved them wrong. Look where she's coming from. Oh, 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 oh. Smile again, we won't let you down. Oh, 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 oh. Smile again, we won't let you down.
saw you dancing by the ocean, running fast along the sand. A spirit born of earth and water, fire flying from your hands. Hold me closer, tiny dancer. Count the headlights on the highway. Lay me down in sheets of linen. Get out of bed today. Hold me closer.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for participating this evening. Our ERA consumer seminar. Before we kick off, please take a moment to scan the provided QR code and connect with us on the social media platform. Don't forget to like our social page across various platforms to stay updated on what's happening in the real estate market.
Between the stars.
tell you. You my little boo thing, so I don't give a hoot what you do. Say, girl, I know you a little too tame. I'll be shooting that shot like 2K, girl, I know. Tell 'em I'm next. Tell 'em you find a little something too fresh, I know. Tell 'em I'm next. Tell 'em you find a little something too fresh, I know. Put a little gold in the teeth and the fit good. Slide to the doors out the deep, okay. I see a brother holding your seat, no beef, but I'm trying to get to know you at least. Don't take my talking to your own. I can keep it chill like the Soviet blunt. I'ma keep it real when your man long gone. If you're looking for a friend, then you got the wrong song. Baby girl, what's good? What's with ya? If you book tonight, that's fiction. I'm outside, no pictures. You want me? Go figure. To the back, to the front. You a 10, baby girl, but I'm the one. Hey, to the back, to the front. You a 10, baby girl, but I'm the one. You my little boo thing, so I don't give a hoot what you do. Say, girl, I know you a little too tame. I'll be shooting that shot like 2K, girl, I know. Tell 'em I'm next. Tell 'em you find a little something too fresh, I know. Tell 'em I'm next. Tell 'em you find a little something too fresh, I know. Hey, girl, you got me. I'm singing. It's like, oh, oh, you got the best of mine. Oh, oh, you got the best of mine. Oh, oh, you got the best of mine. Oh, oh, and in that dress I'm white. You my little boo thing, so I don't give a hoot what you do. Say, girl, I know you a little too tame. I'll be shooting that shot like 2K, girl, I know. Tell 'em I'm next. Tell 'em you find a little something too fresh, I know. Tell 'em I'm next. Tell 'em you find a little something too fresh, I know. Sheesh.
Girl, I'm about to have a panic attack. I did the work, it didn't work. That truth, it hurts. That damn, it hurts. That lovey-dovey shit, was not a fan of it. I'm good with my friends. I don't want a man, girl. I'm in my bed. I'm way too fine to be here alone. On other hand, I know my worth. And now he calling me. Why do I feel like this? What's happened to me? Oh, oh, oh. Am I ready? Ain't no doubt. Am I ready? What you talking about? Am I ready? You gon' figure it out. To be loved, to be loved. Am I ready? You deserve it now. 'Cause I want it. That's what I'm talking about. Am I ready? You gon' figure it out. To be loved, to be loved. How am I supposed to love somebody else when I don't like myself? Like, ooh, guess I better learn to like this. Ooh, it might take my whole life just to do. He called me Melly, he squeezed my belly. I'm too embarrassed to say I like it. Girl, is this my boo? That's why I'm asking you, 'cause you know I've been through. Am I ready? Ain't no doubt. Am I ready? What you talking about? Am I ready? You gon' figure it out. To be loved, to be loved. Am I ready? You deserve it now. 'Cause I want it. That's what I'm talking about. Am I ready? You gon' figure it out. To be loved, to be loved. You found me, I was fed up with the fantasy. What you wanna do? Think I'm ready? Ooh, think you like that? Think you like that? When I clap back like that, let me know. You found me, I was fed up with the fantasy.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in this evening ERA Ultimate Consumer Seminar. Tonight, before we begin, I would like to give a short introduction on our speaker. We are pleased to have ERA Executive Director of Agency, Mr. Zac Huang, to share his views in this session. Zac is a versatile professional who excels as an acclaimed realtor, real estate mentor, investor, and published author. He has reached the summit of his career as the Executive Director of Agency at ERA, showcasing his expertise and leadership in the field. With over a decade of investment experience, he is eager to share his wealth of knowledge about real estate. Zac's passion and proficiency has garnered him recognition, leading to features in prominent publications such as 99.co, HProp, 联合晚报, and The Straits Times. So without delay, let's extend a warm welcome to Zac as he takes the stage. Zac, over to you.
All right. Okay, let me just share my screen. Okay, first and foremost, thank you very much everyone for coming to tonight's Ultimate Consumer Seminar. So today we want to talk about the opportunity, okay, in current market situation, right? So of course we want to also feature Hillhaven as the product that we want to share with you all, which is up and coming preview really soon, which I will share more details later on. So before we start every seminar, just want to share some disclaimer. These are purely from my own investment point of view, right? I have been in the business for the past 18 years, right? I have bought into HDB before, I have bought into a resale condo before, I have bought into a new launch before, and I've also invested in commercial and also landed properties before. I hope with my a little bit of experience, I can share as much as possible with all the consumers here to help you make your rightful decision when it comes to property investment. So first and foremost, I always like to start off with asking all the consumer or our potential customer, how is the real estate market in 2023, right? Is it the price going up or is the price coming down? Come, maybe we have some interaction. If you have got your point of view, maybe you can share inside the chat group. Is the prices going up or the prices going down? Or if there's anything else that you would like to share, maybe you can put inside the chat group. So what we really see after April 2023 is that we actually have got this cooling measure that comes into play, right? So what happened is that number of volume actually went down significantly compared to the past 2 years. So how is this helping the real estate market is that show flats are a little bit quieter compared to the years right after COVID, whereby we really have got a boom in real estate sales. So every time when we see a boom in real estate sales, when there's high volume, the prices will go up. That's why even when GDP went down, we have got the worst recession because of COVID. Private property prices continue to scale up to an all-time high. But in the last 6 months, especially, volume were actually down compared to the past 2 years. So to me, I think there's always great opportunity depending on which project that you are looking into, what kind of investment you are going into. During a good time, high volume, okay, of course, when everybody buy, you can also buy. But I think a better time to buy into the market is where it is a little bit quieter. There's more options for you to choose the right product, okay, at the right price, okay. So this is something that we always encourage customers to do, right? Despite now we have got high interest rate. This is always the talking point. We actually experienced 10 years of like very low interest rate, talking about 1%, right? So people are still not buying at that point in time. There's always different kind of objection. Now that we are experienced 3 to 4%, in fact, this is a good thing to showcase to customers out there, right? If you are a property investor, you should weather high and low interest rate. You don't buy or sell property just because of the interest rate. Later, I got a graph to showcase more. And of course, I mean, in Singapore market especially, we are always affected by cooling measure. What we want to achieve here from a government standpoint, right? If you put on their thinking cap, you realize that they want to have a sustainable property market in Singapore. That's why it is important to introduce cooling measure at the right place at the right time. Last but not least, we are always talking about slower economy. Things have somehow settled down after COVID situation. We are in a post-COVID era whereby we now experience slower economy, whether is it in property or in other businesses. So if you look at this, higher interest rate, higher property value. Okay, one of the reasons why higher interest rate property prices went up is because landlord today have got to pay higher monthly installment, right? Imagine you are the landlord, instead of paying 1%, now that you're paying 3%, your installment actually went up significantly. So who will you get back the money from? You'll get back from the tenant itself, right? So if you actually get a higher rental out of it, and also your higher monthly installment, somehow or rather, this higher rental yield will as show you a period of past 20 years at least, right? You realize that it doesn't mean that when high interest rate were to appear in that environment, right, means that property price will go down. You see that the blue line that we show you here, property price go up despite interest rate going up and down. Second thing, since April 2023, we actually got introduced to different cooling measures, right? One of the more prominent cooling measure, I believe everybody would have already know, will be the higher ABSD, which foreigner now got to pay 60%, okay, if they want to come into the property game in Singapore. So last time when we have got 30%, everybody thinks that it's crazy, 30%, no foreigners will pay. But it once again prove it that at 30%, a lot of foreigners are buying into our market. Sure, every time when there's a change in policy, when there's a higher ABSD, we always experience a slowdown, foreigners coming into the market. But what if I tell you moving forward, there's a chance whereby government maybe, right? These are just my speculation. What if they now, instead of 60%, they increase to 100%, they increase to 120%, right? That will be the time you realize that 60% is now then cheap. Sure, these are some of the figures that we put into tables for all of you over the years, how much ABSD actually incur over time, and how much in terms of taxes you need to pay, right, at different point in time. So foreigners, when they come to Singapore, to be honest, right, when they come to Singapore, sometimes it's not about money, it's about the safety, it's the security, it's the school, it's the environment that they are buying into. As a foreigner, they just got to pay a price. You cannot compare the foreigners, okay, from their point of view when buying in property compared to ordinary Singaporeans. Some of them, they rather pay a higher price to be able to have their family set up in a very safe and comfortable environment like Singapore. So this is a table from a graph from SRX, right? You see that in our market, there's always two situations. It's either the property price is going up or we actually experience a stagnation, right, in our market. So this is probably one of the time whereby TDSR hit in 2013. We experienced a slowdown. In fact, property prices dropped a little bit, okay, from 2013 to 2016. But I have also other data whereby I can show you when prices stagnant, when you buy into a right property, right, you can still potentially make money out of it, right? Not talking about the bull run. When you buy into a right property, a bull run will help you even further. So if you ask me, our market now, we are actually stabilizing, right, in 2023, moving into 2024. And look at the property trend, right? Our nearest comparison is always Hong Kong. Do you know, right? In fact, foreigners buying into Hong Kong used to be at 30% ABSD as well, but recently they actually adjusted their ABSD. And our prices continue to go up, and Hong Kong prices, if you can see, due to many reasons, their prices actually starts to come down a little bit. Meaning to say, when people don't invest much in Hong Kong, they are moving their funds, their hot money into a country called Singapore. Relationship between economy growth and property price. You realize that a good and bad market, sometimes it's because of financial crisis, sometimes it's because of cooling measures, and even so like COVID-19, something that's very unpredictable happen, right? You realize that if you are in a country called Singapore, somehow or rather, okay, prices continuously go up from a long-term perspective. So this is one market that you always have to consider when investing into Singapore. You look at the country first. Is it favorable to the world? Are people coming into a country like Singapore to stay in, to invest, to do business, right? So don't buy a property for short term. I think like 2 to 3 years when TOP you want to sell, it is too short of a horizon. If you want to invest, you are actually putting a lot of risk into your investment. So before I move into the next slide, I just want to encourage everybody, before you buy into any property in Singapore, you have to see at least a mid to long term horizon, okay, when you invest. So there's a couple of reasons why Singapore property price continue to have capital appreciation over time, right? I just want to share my 18 years of experience. Every time there's a short-term sudden go up in prices, it is always because of financial market. There's high liquidity. People make money from somewhere, right? It can be Bitcoin, it can be stocks, it can be hot money coming into Singapore. Then suddenly the property price, everything went up, okay? Midterm is always because of government announcing something. They say that, oh, now I'm going to build a new MRT here, right? Then property price in that area will go up. I'm going to build a new school here. I'm going to shift this very good primary school from this location to this location. Then the prices there will go up. So this is a midterm growth, okay, due to transformation, government land sales, government policy. That's why we have got midterm capital appreciation. Anybody know long term? Okay, why is it always population, right? Population will decide why property prices will go up, right? Just our up north neighbor, you realize that there's very different kind of occupancy rate when you invest in their city like KL, or if you invest in Johor Bahru. Why? Because these two locations, right, is our nearest neighbor. You see that when there's a difference in population, the vibrancy in the property market, okay, is so much different. So especially in Singapore, one of the way that we can continue to prosper as a country is to make sure population will come up. I believe when you have been to other consumer seminar, everybody will be talking to you about white paper. We are trying to hit 6.9 million population, so on and so forth, right? So I don't know how much you believe government will make this come true, okay? But let me show you a couple of things later on to key up this part, right? I think they are in plan for that already. So this is the latest news in the industry. When this news came out, there's an increase in rental occupancy yesterday. This news came out whereby they relaxed from 6 packs to 8 packs for bigger HDB and private property above 90 square meter. A lot of people say that this is a relaxation of policy, right? Is that really true? I don't think so. In fact, to Zac, this is like a mini cooling measure, right? This is a cooling measure to actually tell you certain things. Okay, how I personally read it from 6 packs to 8 packs is government trying to tell you or tell us that, hello everybody, if you're going to invest, I got something to tell you. There's like more people coming into our country. Okay, this year we are experiencing major TOP projects coming into the market, a lot of BTOs coming into the market, yet they increase the rental occupancy rate. Means there's a lot of foreigners coming in. There's people who wants to rent. That's why the only way, instead of building it, is to change the policy from 6 packs to 8 packs. Is a telltale sign that there will be more people coming in, at least for the next 2 to 3 years. All right. So demand in Singapore can be delayed through because of COVID, because of cooling measure. But trust me, demand in Singapore cannot be destroyed. Why? Because we always want to prosper. We always want to do better. We need growth. And property itself has been always a good benchmark, okay, to push GDP to the next level. So just in case you do not know, after COVID, we actually have got a drop in population. Population was like, I remember beginning of this year, like 5.6 million. Last check, okay, a few weeks ago, we are near to 6 million. So can I ask, ladies and gentlemen who are listening to my consumer seminar, have you like experienced higher density in the place that you stay? Or when you visit Orchard, Marina Bay, do you realize that there's actually more people? So long story short, this population, okay, without telling you, okay, there's actually like more than 300,000-400,000 population into the market in this year, right? Is it shocking? No, it is. It doesn't come as a surprise. It has always been in place. So are they going to increase this 6 million population? I think with the cooling measure yesterday, they increased from 6 to 8 packs. I think they are expecting more people to come in already. So remember just now I mentioned, okay, long-term growth, right? If you're investing for long-term for your retirement, okay, population is something that you always have to check. So I have got a table plug out from SingStat, okay? This one also tell you population has been increasing, especially after COVID. In fact, the only time in my career that I see population drop is during COVID. And the other thing that you need to take note, population also matters. Average household size also matters. Okay, what we need to know for at least for the last 10 years, household size actually came down, actually decreased. Meaning to say every house can only accommodate, not can only accommodate, somehow or rather every house only have got 3.09 people in the house. So over the 10 years from 3.53 to 3.09, right? So there's lesser people within a house. So when you divide by 6 million divided by 3, that's roughly the amount of house that you need. And more residents are actually switching from public housing to private housing. There's many reasons. I think our younger generation, especially, they are more financial literate, right? They read more investment. They want to start their investment journey early. Okay, not that they cannot buy HDB, right? HDB is always a basic shelter over our roof, but private housing on top of having a roof over your head, sometimes, or in fact, most of the time, it will make more money. It is more investable in a way. Okay, decreased fertility. If you all know, Singaporeans are not producing enough babies, right? This has been spoken by a lot of ministers, and we tried. In fact, we spent a lot of money to try to increase fertility. Then they realized that, hey, I think bringing in the expats, bringing the foreigners probably is another way, an easier way, okay, to beef up the population. And we are also experiencing older folks, okay, more older folks in Singapore, right? Increased mortality because now the life expectancy for male and female actually increased compared to 10, 15 years ago. So you see, male, we can averagely live up to like 80 years old. Ladies, you probably can live up to another 5 years, 85 years old. The question to all the ladies and gentlemen, all my consumer is, are we really prepared for retirement? If you really want to retire before the age 65, for example, right? So another 20 years, another 25 years, are you ready? Do you have enough passive? Or do you have a property whereby when you want to go into retirement that you can potentially sell and downsize into a small, comfortable, cozy apartment that you can no need to pay installment, right? And you have got cash to sustain your retirement. This is something that I really encourage you to start thinking. If you are young, in fact, you can start planning for this earlier. So same thing, the longer your investment horizon, the lower your investment risk, okay? This is something important for real estate investment. So 2023, what happened is that this is what we experienced in 2023. Now we are in December already. A few more days, we are going into 2024, right? So a very quick summary, if we are talking about the outskirts of Singapore, which is the outside central region, in the 2019, 2000, before COVID, or during COVID, we are still buying like about $1,800 per square foot. But developers today, okay, 2022, 2023, we are all selling at least $2,100 per square foot average, okay, for any development anywhere in Singapore. Is this an all-time high? All-time high? Yes, it is an all-time high in OCR. But let me show you RCR as well. It used to be at like 1,009, but today we are hovering between like 2,004 to $2,500 per square foot. Last time this price at 2,005, you can buy River Valley, you can buy Orchard Road. Yeah. How about River Valley and Orchard Road today? If you are somebody with a bigger quantum, okay, you realize that they are now touching at least 2008, right? The higher floor, the better properties, they are all above $3,000 per square foot, right? Moving forward, 2024, we'll see a lot of launches, okay, that's going like $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 per square foot. Okay, but what if, okay, Zac were to tell you in 2024, there will be an all-time even higher per square foot, Okay, will it encourage more people to buy? Okay, let me share my point of view. This policy that we are going to share, I'm not sure whether you are familiar, but I think it will have a significant impact to the whole overall market in Singapore. Why do I say that? Because, okay, 2024 property high per square foot is because of the photo that you see on your screen. Okay, anybody can tell me what is that? So this is the very famous or infamous aircon ledgers, right? So back in 2023, government actually came out with this harmonization whereby the new definition of floor plan will eat into developer sellable area, right? Long story short, okay, this will make developer has lesser sellable area to sell to consumer like you. Okay, this term is called harmonization. You probably have seen on TikTok, Instagram, a lot of agents doing educational videos about this. So what they are trying to do is that URA, BCA, Civil Defense, and even SLA, they are taking a standard way of measuring floor area, which will affect all different agency and also developers. This is the old concept, okay? They used to measure to the wall, but moving forward, okay, the new definition, they will measure to the middle of the wall. That means the wall, no matter how thick you build, right, as a developer, they will measure to the middle of the wall. Okay, so this will affect how developers and other agents, government agency calculate the GFA, and this will affect into the sellable area. So a couple of sample or example that I can share. Last time we used to have developments with a lot of planter box. Then the property agent will tell you you can just deck it up and put into a balcony, right? That is also one thing that happened. We used to see developers build a lot of bay window, right? Because these are like a gray area. And some developments, they do a lot of loft units, roof terraces, whereby they sell you at a high per square foot. Then government in 2009 and 2013 stepped in respectively, right, to streamline this part to make sure that developer don't do all these things anymore, right? That at that point in time, they remove the planter box, bay window, and roof terraces. So moving forward, okay, starting this year, 1st June, any developer who bid into the new government land sales, they have to oblige to the new rules called harmonization. So later I'll have some example to simplify as much as possible, okay, what all this means to you. So you can see aircon ledgers, I actually highlighted, right? Developer used to build this and sell you at the usual per square foot that you buy into. If you buy into $2,100 per square foot, they will sell you the aircon ledgers at $2,100 per square foot. Am I correct? So moving forward, they have to take the middle of the wall, okay, as a form of measurement. So if you realize, if you plus aircon ledgers plus the middle of the wall, total reduced sellable area for developers are moving forward, okay, it will be at least 5 to 10% lesser. So let me ask you a very frank question. Do you think developer will still sell you cheap even though they got lesser sellable area? Developer, their main core business is to sell property and make money. So they will do whatever it takes, okay, to profit from it. So I will showcase to you and share with you one opportunity that you can tap on, okay, to because of this policy. So one simple illustration, okay, the old sellable area, for example, you can see the left and right, they are actually the same layout. Okay, the old before the harmonization, they sell you at 1,356 per square foot. Okay, as an example, if they are developer going to build the same thing, they can only sell you at 1,270 per square foot, right? So the question is developer still going to build aircon ledgers? The answer is yes. Developer cannot don't build aircon ledgers. They still have to build aircon ledgers, but they cannot sell it to you moving forward because of the new policy. So whatever I shade, okay, I shade it in the floor plan. These are some areas whereby developers cannot sell it to you, especially the aircon ledgers. But there's many things in our industry, prices that go up cannot come down. Same thing, the construction worker that developer pay for it, you increase their salary, you cannot come down. Material is another thing. You buy concrete, you buy bricks at buy sand at certain price. But when this kind of pricing go up, it cannot come down. So this thing will happen also for property prices in Singapore. So there are a couple of things that a developer will try to do. Later, I will share it with you. So you can see the same quantum, right? Instead of buying at $2,000 per square foot, okay, moving forward, those affected, they will sell to you at the same quantum, but at a higher per square foot. Okay, so these are the old guidelines, new guidelines. So what does this mean to developer? Okay, sizes moving forward, because lesser sellable area, size will become smaller. Okay, second thing, they will still sell you at the same quantum because they know buyers can afford at this quantum, right? So they will not reduce the quantum, they will sell you smaller size, higher per square foot. Okay, so per square foot will increase in 2024. So this is the case study in terms of government land sales before and after harmonization. So if I take one example in Lentor area. So before harmonization, developers are bidding at $1,000 to $1,100 per square foot. After harmonization, because they got lesser space to sell it to you already, lesser GFA, so they bidded and put a buffer in between all these projects that is bidded for at $900 per square foot. So there's a reduction in 13%. The thing is, even though they bid 13% lesser on the average, trust me, developer, they will not sell you at a lower price. So there's a couple of things that property price will continue to escalate from my point of view. Why? Because there's still a rising cost of construction costs. Rising interest rate is still there, even though we hear some news that 2024 interest rate might come down. And if you can see, even with high interest rate, property price don't come down. Trust me, my point of view is if interest rate were to come down, more people will come into the market. I'm not sure whether you are following me or not. More people will come in because lesser risk, lesser interest rate, right? Lesser monthly installment, higher rental yield, more people will come into it. Just now I mentioned about labor cost, certain payment that you made to all these labor, right, to build your houses. When you give them certain amount already, you cannot reduce their pay. Compliance fee also went up significantly, and also last but not least, next year there will be first project, okay, that will experience harmonization of floor plan. But don't worry, it's not Hillhaven. Okay, the other concern that we always have in Singapore is there an oversupply? Okay, market is slowing down. Are we building too fast? Is there people who come and rent my unit? Oversupply, will I still make as much money? Okay, so talking about oversupply, yes, next year we will have more project launches coming up. There will be more developers, especially after Chinese New Year, they will do their launch. Okay, so there will be some opportunities in the market as well. But I just like to bring your attention back, like just 6 years ago, 2017, 18, or 2019. You realize that we have got even much bigger mega project that is launched during that time. No, the good thing about that time, because it is very similar to today. Why? Because at that point in time, I remember everybody is talking about oversupply as well. Can you imagine 2017, you have got Affinity selling at 1,000 units. Okay, this year I don't see a lot of projects selling at 1,000 units. 2018, look at this, right? There's Sterling, Riverfront, Park Esta, Jadescape selling above 1,200 units, as high as 1,500 units. If you think today got oversupply, I tell you back then there's even more supply. 2019, we got the biggest project in Singapore called Treasure, also already TOP, right? Park Clementi's 1,004 units, Avenue South 50 over story got 1,000 units. So can you imagine back to back in 3 years, all these mega projects that we are not seeing today, okay, are being launched. And you know what's the good news about all this, right? All of them, okay, majority of them have already made a significant profit out of it, despite all the buyers that time, or some of the buyers that time says that there's oversupply in the market. So let me bring you to a deeper, okay, a more specific case study in Pasir Ris. I also remember back then, 10 over years ago, when we started to help developer, CDL launched this project. This project is launched back to back. That's why I have got all these data here to tell you when are they launched. In a few years' time, Livia, MV Residence, pellet, DNS, cocoa palm being launched. Of course, recently we have got Pasir-Ris 8. So there's a few thousand units here. We are talking about 5,300 units in just 5 projects. Don't talk about the resale that is surrounding it. But long term down the road, okay, since 2008, you can see that all these projects actually benefited, right? Even though they are all in the same vicinity, Pasir-Ris, in fact, not very near to MRT station, right? They still benefit from the growth. Why? Because time proved that capital appreciation always happen in all these projects, right? So you just need to find a good project with the proven characteristic of a profitable property, you can still make money. Livia made the most, 72%. Dines made about 40%, which is the lowest in this location. But averagely, you can see most of the projects are making at least a 50% in terms of capital appreciation in like 10 to 12 years. So what if you don't buy into new launches, right? You buy something that is more affordable in terms of per square foot, which is resale. Okay, let me just show you the same case study. At that point in time, okay, I'm taking reference from the lowest appreciation, which is DNS, right? Because if I use Livia, you all will say, oh, because you are using the top one, that's why it is the best performing. But let's use Livia, the one that made the least. If you compare, if you don't buy DNS, you go and buy Elias, which is much significantly lower. You realize that the resale, even compared with the lowest appreciation called DNS, you still make more money than the resale, right? Somehow or rather, this is a local knowledge that you need to have. Why? Because people always like newer things. Okay, you cannot deny the fact that they don't need a very big apartment because resale is always bigger, right? But I want to tell you, because of the household size, a lot of people don't want big. A lot of people want it small. People want it new. People want new appliances. They want modern facilities. This is one very simple buying behavior that all investors in Singapore, you need to understand. People just love it new. Let me show you another case study, which is even more populated, which is even more oversupply. This place called Flora Road, right? If you think Pasir-Ris is highly populated, okay, wait until you come Flora Drive, okay, very near to Changi V already. In fact, for the past 20 over years, they have been launching project after project and after project. And you know the best part about this area is that they don't have MRT station, they only have bus stop, they don't even have coffee shop, right? Of course, recently Park Como, they TOP, they have got a very nice zi there. Maybe you should patronize. They have got their skirt by this thing called the Changi Prison. Yeah, in fact, there's no amenities, no shopping center there. And when we launched this project, okay, 2,000 over units, people also say that, wow, there's so many resale. In fact, if you go and count the resale unit, I believe there's like maybe 6,000-7,000 units there. And you see, even at the most 鸟不生蛋 place in Singapore called Flora Road, prices still go up. Even if you look at like the best performing, the Gill, right, 78 capital appreciation compared to the lowest, Aegis Park, 34%. All in all, I think average they did pretty well, 45% increase. To be honest, if property in Flora Road can make money, everywhere in Singapore can make money. That's my point of view. Yeah. So what if you don't buy something that's new launch in the area, right? Meaning to say you don't buy the lowest capital appreciation, like you don't buy Hedges Park, which is only 34%. You go and buy a bigger size apartment resale, a nice project as well called Carissa Park, right? Very near to Hedges Park. You can see over the same time frame, right? It only increased 30%. Okay, somehow or rather, property in Singapore, if given time, they will all appreciate. But you see, think about it. Every investor, we don't have a lot of bullet to buy a lot of property. You only have one bullet. You better choose the best property to buy into, right? So this is really important because once you buy the wrong property, you can be stuck there. Stuck there means your capital appreciation. Yes, you can have capital appreciation, but not much. You can have rental, but you will face a higher vacancy rate compared to your peers who buy into good project. So if you only have got a good one bullet to buy into, you better choose the right project to buy into. So this year we see more than 10,000 TOP projects. Okay, so all these are coming into the market. Yet yesterday, government actually announced, okay, from 6 pack to 8 packs. So I want to remind everyone, long-term population is going to help us. They are going to increase population significantly soon. And all these projects who recently TOP'd, look at their capital appreciation in just merely 3 to 4 years. Affinity went up 17%. Treasures at Tampines, people say one project oversupply went up 22%. Right? I remember how difficult it was to sell treasure at Tampines. Okay, Florence, day one, we sell 30 over units, but everybody make 25%. Right? So whoever buy into the beginning actually profited the most, okay, if you buy into Florence. Normanton Park, right, people also make 13.6%. So every property in Singapore, back 3-4 years ago, if you buy into it, all made money. Riverfront, another mega project, went up 28.5. Jovel in Flora Road went up 28.2. Park Clementes, recently TOP, very nice project, okay, also went up. Flora Road again, Park Como, 18% freehold project. So the question is, does 99 years and freehold plays a very important part? You see, if I can just bring back, the only freehold I believe is Park Como. Park Como only make 18%. Jovel, Riverfront, all made 28%. So freehold may not be one most important characteristic. Of course, if you can buy a freehold at leasehold price, why not? But it must fulfill other characteristics as well. Later, I'll share with you why Hillhaven is a good project. Okay, so Hillhaven, just in case you do not know, it's a 99 years project. Okay, I just want to share with you, if you are considering Hillhaven, I think you can consider investing at least 5 to 10 years. So if you look at this chart, right, condos that TOP 20 years ago, the first 5 to 10 years, they actually have got the highest capital appreciation. Even for the leasehold property, they did better at 10.1 and 10.8 respectively for the 5th year and the 10-year mark. Okay, how come freehold always don't make as much? Okay, let me be very upfront with you. Because freehold always pay a premium for it. When you pay a premium for it, the next potential buyer also have to pay a premium. So in order to buy from you, they cannot pay you such a premium again, right? Because you are not developer, they will rather go for the leasehold, which is more affordable, and they will continue to buy leasehold. These are condos that TOP 15 years ago, right? So if you look at the 5-year mark and 10-year mark, you realize that the leasehold also outperform, right, the freehold property as well. So is freehold, leasehold, buying freehold always a winning formula in today's market, right? Maybe back 30, 40 years, yes, but today no longer true, because the buying behavior of the millennials, the younger people, is different. They don't care about freehold anymore. Some of them don't even think about passing on from generation to generation, right? Okay, so I'm coming to the end. I just want to share a little bit about this Hillhaven project. So some of you are already familiar. Some of our ERA agents already share with you. This is how Hillhaven going to look like. Okay, this is the perspective. Then of course I got other perspective, of very beautiful development with very nice facilities. You can see this swimming pool, something different from the traditional kind of swimming pool that they are going to build. They're going to build it, put in a lot of very nice landscape, okay, greeneries into this development. So some important details, just in case you are not familiar. It is 99 years starting February 2023. Okay, there will be 2 towers, Tower A and Tower B. It will go as high as 27 and 28 story respectively. Okay, total number of units, a very good number, 341. In fact, developments, when you buy into it, number of units, okay, will determine somehow or rather your lifestyle. Okay, and also how this will play a very important part is will be on your maintenance fee. Okay, I would say after so many years of studying all these project, 300 over unit is just nice. If you're buying for own stay, you don't see too many people. It will not be considered a very high density kind of project. If you are investor, maintenance fee will be affordable because you got 300 over units, okay, coming to share this commitment with you. And something to highlight, okay, whereby a lot of projects are not giving you this, because this is in a Hillview area. I believe a lot of people will be driving even though it's near to MRT station. Why do I say that? Because there will be a lot of HDB upgrader whereby they need to ferry their children over to the grandparents' place or over to school. So having a parking lot is very important, right? A lot of project can go as low as 30% out of the number of units, average on a 50%, especially if you are near to MRT station. So having the right number of car park is also one good characteristic that you should look into. Okay, project name very nice. I think Hillview Rise. Okay, you buy already, property price also rise. I think that's very nice. Estimated TOP, right? We are talking about Q3 2027. Okay, if there's further details from developer, we'll continue to update you. Okay, there's other information that you can take a photo if you want, right? Next, bedroom type. Okay, I think this is one consideration, one characteristic. There's development whereby they offer you one bedroom, small, very palatable, low quantum. But you must understand, every time a development, when there's a one bedroom for investment, right, you will see a lot of tenants. So is it good or no good? If you are not staying there, you don't care. But if you are staying there, having a lot of tenants moving in means there's a lot of movement in the project. But in Hillhaven, I think it is very smart that the developer start from 2 bedroom, then they focus on the 3 and 4 bedroom, whereby a lot of people with family, with children, they will love the 3 and 4 bedder, and they don't go for the 5 bedder, right? So they have got the best of both worlds, 3 and 4, 5 bedrooms. So I just want to share the two-step formula that I've been helping a lot of customers find profitable property. So you must understand there's two things that you need to identify. Two-step formula, very easy to follow one, okay? So I'll try to explain as much as possible. Okay, number one is proven characteristic of a profitable property. So proven characteristic means it must be historically done before. Last time people buy this kind of project, they ever make money before. So that's proven. What is characteristic? Characteristic is something like, is it near to the school? Is it near to the shopping center? How far is the MRT station? How many units? So on and so forth. These are characteristics. In fact, there's a list of characteristics that every investment you should look into. But later I'll showcase a couple of good characteristics about Hillhaven that is worth considering. And why is it must be a profitable property? You see, I was saying we are always talking about having one bullet. You must choose the best property. Okay, so you must take historical data to see what other previous project that is like Hillhaven ever make money before, right? They are profitable before. So you look at their characteristic. This is the best comparison. If you can identify as many proven characteristics in this profitable property, you got a higher chance of making money. So step one is just identifying proven characteristic of a profitable property. Step two, after you identify characteristic, you must always buy into a right entry price. Okay, of course, we are not even into preview yet. We don't even have the indicative pricing. So salespeople of ERA, maybe when we receive it from developers, you can share with your customer. So I just want to say, there will be good project. If you buy into the wrong pricing, you will still lose money. Not every good project, every neighbor of yours will make money. Some people will make more money because you choose the right unit, right project. So I just want to encourage you to look very much into this right entry price when the prices is out. Choose a very good unit when buying into Hillhaven. So what are some proven characteristics of a profitable property from my point of view, from my investment point of view, that is worth considering buying into Hillhaven? Number one, okay, all my personal investment is all near MRT station. Right? I can sleep better when I buy near MRT station. Why do I say that? Because end of the day, if you're buying for investment, right, you must understand your tenant most of the time don't drive, because driving in Singapore is always very costly, right? So a lot of them as a foreigner, some of them don't even have license. They don't want to drive in Singapore. So they will always choose a rental unit that's very near walking distance to MRT station. So for Hillhaven, we have got Hillview MRT station, which is like 5 minutes away. Okay, so very walkable to the MRT station. So this is something that I encourage all the investor to buy into near MRT station. Second thing, I have vet through some of the draft floor plans already. Okay, when it is ready, I think your salesperson can show you. I have scrutinized. Okay, I always look out. Very simple. When you talk about floor plan, you must understand a lot. Whether is it tenant or the potential buyer buying from you in the resale market, they always look for a reasonably good layout. Okay, what is a reasonably good layout is, come on, let's don't have odd shape in the layout itself. Let's don't have too much unwasted space. Aircon ledgers, no choice, got to build aircon ledgers for you. Okay, so as long as it is functional, it is regular, there's no much wasted space, it is considered a good layout. So I've checked for you, Hillhaven, very good, very squarish, no odd shape. Floor area, floor size is also very important. Next, I believe if you want to make a very good capital appreciation, you must be very near to amenities. In our case, it is right beside Hill V2. Why Hill V2 is a very ideal shopping center? First, it is also by the same developer, Far East, right? This Hill V2 is very unique. People don't come here for fashion. People come here for F&B. People come here for lifestyle. People come here for co-working space, having coffee. I just want to walk from my project to this shopping center, and I have got aircon. I can work there. I can do my Zoom meeting. It must be walking distance, and yet I don't see too many people. When I walk into the restaurant, I walk into the coffee joint like Starbucks, I have got a seat ready for me anytime. So this is one characteristic that tenants will look out for. Why is it important even if you're buying for own stay? Is because if tenants love your project at Hillhaven, they are willing to pay a higher rental. Higher rental will always lead you to a higher capital appreciation. So this is a super plus point for me, okay, to have Hill V2 right beside Hillhaven. Very good, thumbs up. Third, connectivity. Connectivity is bigger than MRT station. MRT station is having that station very near to you, but connectivity is about people who don't necessarily take the MRT station, but they still have to commute from places to places, whether is it to parents' place or whether is it to the second CBD in Jurong or even to Marina Bay, how they move from one place to another place. So first, I want to share, I did my research. I realized that here V2 also got shuttle bus, right? There's hovering between like Hillview area and towards Bukit Gombak MRT station. There's complimentary by here V2. There's also bus stops outside there, right? Nearest MRT station just now I share already is Hillview MRT station. Taxi stand is just right outside Hill V2 MRT. Hill V2 main entrance. So if you don't take a Grab, if you go for your coffee first, you can always wait at the taxi stand. And very importantly, because I drive, I always look out for expressway. Of course, the nearest expressway will be KPE. If you can exit towards the dairy farm area, right, you can then connect to KJE. Or the other one that the busiest expressway that you can connect to the city or to the eastern part of Singapore will be PIE. I think having 3 expressway very near to you in your proximity, I think helps a lot in commuting. Okay, so these are one characteristic that I look out for every time I see, because you must understand, investor and people who are buying for own stay, connectivity plays a very important part, especially for parents, okay, if you are ferrying your children to school. Next. Okay, this one is the mid to long term kind of capital appreciation, which I encourage, okay, have a longer investment horizon, is future transformation. So you can see my Hillhaven logo, it is very near to this second CBD, which that is so much talked about by the ministers and also all our realtor friends. Okay, second CBD called the Jurong Lake District. First, I want to tell you there is more transformation in this Jurong Lake District. They have not ended. In fact, this is just the beginning. There's more transformation. They are going to make like it says, the second CBD, they're going to move people out of Shenton Way and work in Jurong. Why? Because overall, Singapore is a relatively small country, right? We don't need to everybody every day spend 30 minutes drive to CBD to work, right? If you can work in the place where you stay, there will be more residential coming up. Why? Because they're going to emphasize so much on this second CBD. And all those investors looking at Hillhaven, your potential tenant not only come from the university, you will also come from all these second CBD in Jurong Lake District. This is something that is hyped up for the past few years. Recently, we got one project that sells very well within the first weekend launch. It's also because of the second CBD. Second thing about future transformation, okay, I will always look into the master plan to further understand the project that I buy into, right? What are the up and coming projects? Okay, these are the master plan that tells you the residential site that is up and coming. Sure, if you're familiar, if you're staying in the West, especially if you're staying in Hillview, of course, we got some projects recently in these recent years. Of course, we have got Kingsford, right? On top of Hillview 2, we got another project called Helia, right? Then we also have got recent POP project called Meadwood. Then on the right-hand side, we have got Dairy Farm Residences, we have got Botany. But you must understand, this is the place whereby there will be up and coming future transformation, right? If today I can bring you back to buy, whether is it Kingsford or Meadwood, you will go into. Why? Because every launch is getting more and more expensive. So I always take a benchmark. How many more future transformation called the government land sales is coming up? So right beside us, okay, we have got 4 more plots in the forested area, okay, the one that I put a star, right, in red color. There's 4 more residential sites in Hillview right behind Hillhaven. So they are not going to launch in 2024 for sure, right? If they launch in 2025, 2026, 2027, moving down the road, trust me, developers will have to buy in a smaller GFA at a higher per square foot, okay, in terms of government land sales. Not only that, we are also flanked by Dairy Farm, whereby there's 7 more plots, okay? So in fact, we are still the first few recent project that is launching in Hillview area. Moving forward, there will be more projects coming up. So if you can see this master plan, there's also this German school that is at Dairy Farm. These are your potential tenants that will also rent from you if you're an investor. Okay, investor, you need to understand rentability. Okay, tenant only like a couple kind of project, right? So all your tenants will come from second CBD and German international school, which makes it highly rentable, right? Not only we want to have high rental yield, we also want to have high rentability. Rentability means every time a 2-year lease is up, you shouldn't have problem finding the next tenant, right? Right? As long as you put into probably Guru99.co, the online platform, a very reasonable market rate. I believe a project like Hillhaven near to MRT station, beside Hillv2, very well connected. You have got tenants from this second CBD, German international school, who will be coming into your new project with new facilities by Far East. Okay, that will be very well liked by tenants. So this is always something that I will look out for, rentability. Okay, last but not least, just now I already mentioned, this is the perfect figure if you ask me, 300 over units. Why? Because it favors 2 different group of people. If you are buying for own stay, the density is just nice. You don't have 2,000 over people, 2,000 over units like treasures, okay, too congested. I think this development, this size, with this kind of facilities, you go down, okay, we are very comfortable with one another. For investors, this is the number of units whereby you pay very affordable maintenance fee. Okay, so when the maintenance fee is out, I think the salesperson will update you as well. So very nice. I will usually benchmark about like 300 to 600 units in a development to deem it as a proven characteristic of a good profitable property. Okay, so 341, just nice. Okay, so I have shared all the good things about Hillhaven. Okay, in fact, today the intention is very, very simple. Okay, I don't need you to buy the unit immediately. I just want to invite all of you who are listening to this consumer seminar, okay, to go with your ERA salesperson to come on the 6th January, which is a Saturday. That's the day whereby we will open door and invite all of you to come and take a look. right? So you need to do is to quickly RSVP with your preferred ERA salespeople, which day you want to come. If I'm not wrong, we are running this preview for 2 weeks. Okay, so any day, if you can come during the preview period, it will be ideal. Let me just give you one tip before I end it. Okay, if you can, come weekday, if you can, so that my agents have got more time to share with you and give you a very good experience. Why do I say that? Because weekend is usually very busy. Okay, busy with a lot of people. We might not be able to showcase the whole project very nicely to you because it's very congested. It's always overwhelming. But of course, if you can only come on weekend, no problem. We will still serve you to the best of our ability. Okay, so remember, take a photo of this starting from 6 January 2024 on a Saturday. I would love to see all of you at Hillhaven. Okay, before I end, I just want to share with you, this is a very good time to invest into Singapore property because market is slow. Market is not as volatile. Prices don't go up as fast. Developers are very reasonable now. Again, nothing is more expensive than this missed opportunity. Don't wait until another all-time high when the harmonization kicks in, high per square foot, then developer for Hillhaven got to bring up the price again. Okay, in fact, I think this is one project that is before the harmonization that you can capitalize this opportunity, buy something, okay, before the high per square foot come in again in 2024. With that, I will end my presentation. I wish you all the best and Merry Christmas, and I'll see you really, really soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Zach. Okay, please hold on for a while. Please stay with me. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for the insightful sharing, Zach. And hope you guys have gained more through this session. If you have any further queries on Hillhaven, please feel free to contact any of our ERA trusted advisor that have invited you to this session. So before we end, please scan the provided QR code and connect with us on the social media platform. And don't forget to like our social page across various platforms to stay updated on what's happening in the real estate market. And that will bring us to the end of tonight's session. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you and good night.
Try to think about all we love. Try to think about the time we spent. Not trying